So director Wes Anderson has a new movie in theaters this weekend called The Phoenician Scheme. Now I recognize that some people love this guy, they think he's the greatest filmmaker ever, and some people, they don't see the appeal. Personally, I think the guy is kind of hit and miss. Hey everybody, I'm Sean McBride, and today let's talk about The Phoenician Scheme.
At this moment, rescue workers are laboring to recover and identify the remains of Zsa Korda, international businessman, maverick in the fields of armaments and aviation, among the richest men in Europe. This was Korda's 6th recorded airplane crash. He is survived by 10 children, 9 boys, 1 nun, his daughter Liesl.
In The Phoenician Scheme, Benicio del Toro plays a wealthy businessman who's surrounded by political and business rivals who will do anything to stop his latest plans, up to and including numerous assassination attempts. That's right, the very first thing that happens in this movie is he's flying in his airplane and a bomb blows up, takes out his personal assistant. Bomb blasts in midair do tend to bring down airplanes. Don't worry, the businessman survives the plane crash, but he decides that he needs an heir just in case one of those assassination attempts turns out to be successful. Now he has 9 sons, but he decides instead to trust his daughter, who's played by Mia Thapleton. And she was actually planning on becoming a nun before her father came calling. And now she finds herself thrust into a world where she is helping her father with his shady business plans. In addition to Del Toro and Thapleton, we also get Michael Cera playing a big part in this film. He's a tutor who's going along for the ride here, plus a huge list of fun, very notable A-list actors in smaller performances. We get everyone from Tom Hanks to Bryan Cranston, Scarlett Johansson, Riz Ahmed, Jeffrey Wright, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And oh yeah, we get to see Bill Murray playing God, and they're all having a blast in these little but very showy performances. Now, Anderson's movies are notable for the director's unique visual style. Every scenic design element is created like a theater set piece, so they might not be scenically realistic, but they're always very unique. And I love all the fun details hidden in his sets. I love that in Wes Anderson moments, there's those fun little elements. You may have to look for them, but once you start finding them, these little Easter eggs, they're a lot of fun. For example, in this film, the businessman is always reading, and just checking out the titles of the books he's reading, it's worth a giggle or two. Now that being said, I don't think the story is very compelling. But once again, the businessman and his daughter travel from one fun locale to another, meeting with over-the-top characters, hoping to get them to invest in their project. But so what? What's the point of all this? It's a messy story that, once again, doesn't really add up to much. I mean, look, Anderson's movies lately seem to be more interested in painting quirky pictures and character portraits, but not telling a compelling story. So once again, he's given us a movie that's a lot of fun to watch, but the story leaves you shrugging with disinterest. So with that in mind, I give The Phoenician Scheme 2.5 stars out of 4. And like I said, if you're a huge fan of Wes Anderson movies, you will probably like this much more than I did. And if you're someone who hates his movies, you won't go see this one. This one's certainly not the one that gets you to the theater. If you're in the middle of the pack like me, if you think some of his stuff is cool and some of his stuff is meh, then I think you'll be right with me with my 2.5 star review. But hey, what do you think? Comment below. Tell me what you think of Wes Anderson movies. Which are your favorites? And don't forget, subscribe so you always get these movie guy quick takes. Or subscribe to my podcast where my friend Joe Fryer and I get together every week to review all of the week's big new movies. That's 2 Movie Guys, wherever you get your podcasts. So that's it for this weekend's new movies, but I'm very excited for the next weekend because we have a film expanding that I think is one of the best films of the year. Certainly one of my favorites. We'll talk about that next time on my Sean McBride, the Movie Guy Quick Takes. See you then.